Hey guys, Cam for15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another anime episode review for you. As I'm talking about one of the newer summer of animes that came out today on this Sunday, and that is Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead. As I'm looking at that on my TV, which I just got done watching, and what a really good episode! What a really good episode to start off on. I knew I would be intrigued off of this based on just watching just the trailer, but pretty much what is the premise? It's pretty much a zombie apocalypse anime. But it was actually pretty interesting to say the least. We get introduced to our main character, Akira Tendo. And listen, hey, he's just a nice, carefree, happy-go-lucky guy, and next thing you know, you see over the course of this episode how much this job really just makes him, like, I guess you could say on the verge of, like, committing, well, the S word, but even though he tries to find his bright spots in the day, which aka is, like, the girl, the girl co-worker that he works for, until he like legitimately realizes that like pretty much she's kind of like a mistress, or like the CEO pretty much does the dirty with her and things like that. And you just see everything go on, and then he's living in hell and stuff like that, and then the zombie apocalypse comes. But this was a really good start to this show, and an interesting premise to see where the story is going to go. One thing I definitely gotta give credit where credit is due. One, I gotta say that this is a really extremely accessible anime. It's not only streaming, like originally this show was supposed to be streaming on on Netflix. But no, it's not only streaming on Netflix, it's streaming on Hulu, and it's even streaming on Crunchyroll. So if you have any one of those streaming services, you can watch Zom 100, which, hey, I appreciate the fact that it's accessible amongst 3 different platforms. So it's like if you had one, hey, you don't have to pay for the other one. But obviously in today's society, you might as well get them all, because whatever, you never know with these animes. They could be going from freaking Hulu to Netflix to High Dive or HI Dive or whatever, however you want to call it, or Crunchyroll. Even though the Funimation merger, people are questionable about that with Crunchyroll. It's one less streaming platform you have to pay for. But even then, I still pay for Funimation, because there's just some things. Even then, it's like I still like the site, and sometimes going to Funimation is better than when Crunchyroll is like, especially Crunchyroll is just like glitching out on something. So that's one thing. I like the fact that it's accessible across multiple streaming services. Another thing that's really good is the fact the animation looks actually really visually stunning, really visually beautiful. There's times in this episode where they go from a widescreen format to then a full screen format back to a widescreen format, and then just like the detail they do, like they did a really good job at detailing like Akira's, like, I guess, state of mind in terms of the way he looked animation wise, based off on how like terrible he was feeling during this period of when he was working. And you can see, just like, there was this one scene where you could just see the dead in his eyes. Hold on a quick second, guys. Okay, back. But like I was saying, you could see like the dead in his eyes based on the animation, how they structured it. And I even liked, as the more it went on, they went from like a colorful tint to then a black and white tint to really show like this guy is like living in hell. He really was, like, he thought he was coming into this job like, oh, this is gonna be a nice job and everything, and he bumps into his co-worker crush pretty much, and then they have that typical like, oh, I guess you could say dinner, that first dinner with the new co-worker, and next thing you just see like, he's interacting with all the other co-workers, and they're like, oh, you do rugby and everything, you did, that's cool. And then within a snap of the finger, things just absolutely change where they're just like, well, it's back to going back to work now, so it is what it is, huh? Which that's absolutely crazy to say the least. My freaking hold on. Yeah, but as I was saying, like you could see like just the dead in his eyes and everything that was happening. No, he goes in there, he thinks like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a good job to work for. Happy, go lucky, blah 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 blah. And I'm just gonna work, get by, and have fun coworkers, have fun interactions. Who knows? Maybe I can hit it off with this girl that I have a crush on at work. And then, the more that goes on as he's working, the more he sees like, okay, this job is absolutely terrible. And he keeps just going back, and going back. You have that moment like in the episode where it's like, it's super bad for him, but the thing is, he takes like a highlight is like, oh, the girl he has a crush on, oh, she's, at least she makes, the bright, she makes my day a lot brighter than what it's supposed to be, and she actually makes my day. But then only to realize like, oh, hey, and it's funny enough because when, I saw that CEO call her into her office, I was like, let me guess where this is probably going. The CEO pretty much sees this hot, worker, and obviously, since he's the CEO, listen, if you want to keep your job, well, then you're gonna have to do this with me. And pretty much, the dude, I feel bad for Akira because like he really likes this girl, but only to find out like, oh, in a way, the girl is pretty much kind of like a girl that's just sleeping with the dude, probably just to keep her job. And they don't really play it off as if the girl is like actually like a good girl. Like maybe she's fine with that, even though like in that scene she said we can't do it here, so obviously it seems like she's fine with that. And again, maybe that CEO was like threatening her like, hey, if you don't do this with me, keep your job, because hey, there's people out there like that in the real world that will kind of use women in that kind of derogatory way of like, well, if you don't do this with me, well then you're gonna lose your job, or you're not gonna get this promotion or something. I'll just find somebody else to do it. And it is disgusting, but you feel for the guy. Like he actually like genuinely likes this girl, and well, girl's a mistress for this CEO, and he's pretty much kind of fed up and everything. And you had that moment where like he almost actually did think about like probably taking his own life. But he didn't. And it's just absolutely, you just see like how depressing this guy's life is, and then he just wakes up, and next thing you know, he's waking up, and when I was watching the episode, because it's in a black and white filter, you don't see the blood puddle, and next thing you know, he goes to like the front desk and everything, and to like pay off like this bike parking fee area, and then he sees like, he walks into the door, and then he sees a zombie eating that person. That's when he's like, wait a second, and as it's funny, he starts running away, and then as he's like, thinks, like, wait, zombies, that means I don't have to go to work anymore. I'm free. And mind you, he worked for this place like for 3 straight years. So you can only imagine like how much stress this is taking. And personally, I'm of the opinion like, if something is stressing you out, if work is stressing you out, and it's not fun for you to do, honestly, you see it a lot in today's society with people where they just up and quit the job because they're not getting any enjoyment. Like, obviously, and I'm kind of the person that's like, well, if you're not getting any enjoyment out of doing something, you probably should not be doing it. But the fact that this man, he starts like, oh my goodness, I don't have to go to work. This man's jumping off buildings and everything. I'm like, holy hell, man, this guy's, and then that's when like the color palette just gets, it just gets really colorful. Like, you have like not only just red blood, you have like green blood, blue blood. Again, props to the people who did this anime. They just changed the entire color palette, and the show just got really colorful and really visually stunning and everything. And then they did that one crazy scene where he's pretty much mind blown. He's just excited. And that was a great, crazy scene. I was like, oh my goodness. And pretty much kind of the thing is, he's running away from all these zombies, and then he's like, oh, I probably should see if the girl he likes from work is still alive and is okay. So he goes over to her place, only to realize that the CEO was there, and obviously the CEO is a zombie. And pretty much using his rugby skills, he pretty much like tackles him out of the building. Then he only turns to see the girl he has a crush on, only to realize that she has also turned into a zombie. So he pretty much gets pretty emotional, says like, you know, I loved you from the moment I started working, and then, you know, he started running away from her. So yeah, pretty much it seems like the guy's now going to be living in a zombie apocalypse, trying to survive. And that's pretty much it. But overall, it was a solid episode of Zom 100. Definitely intrigued to see where the story's going to go from here on. And yeah, but solid episode. Can't wait to see more of Zom 100. And yeah, but really great start. Definitely going to talk about it as the weeks go by. Yeah, so till then, guys, if you guys liked the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the first episode of Zom 100, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Zom 100 content or any other anime content I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or nonsense video. Peace.